Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at what is undoubtedly a pretty terrible card. I mean, we're at the apex and it's going to feel like we're at the apex. We're back at the apex. It's going to feel like it because this card is terrible. The main event, hold your breath, Steve Garcia versus David Onama. How incredible is that? I mean, let's just get right into it because the start of this card's pretty terrible. There's only like a couple of decent-ish fights on here. So first of all, we've got Talida Alencar versus Ariana Cardinalosi. Tough one for me to say. Saranalosi, maybe it's that. I don't know. Who could say? Doesn't matter because we're going with Alencar. She's been active over at the UFC BJJ. She lost, but you know she's staying active over there. Cardinalosi hasn't had a fight in she's had a fight. She hasn't had a win, a proper win. She hasn't had a proper outing in a good while, to be honest with you. So in 4 years since her last win. So yeah, she won 4 years ago, then she lost, and then she's had a bad showing because she got a win, but it was because of a head clash, a headbutt, pretty intentional headbutt, and she was awarded a DQ win. So not really had good showings in the past 4 years. So we're gonna go with Alencar. There's potential for a submission, but this women's strawweight, so we're gonna go with decision. Yeah. On to the next one. Phil Rowe versus Seok Hyun Ko. I lean towards Seok Hyun Ko as slight favourite appears on the screen. I lean towards it, to be honest with you. I always do this with the Asian guy, with the Korean guy, with the Japanese guy, with the Chinese guy. Don't know why I do it. They got powerful shots, man. It's the shorter arms. They're more like powerful levers. Anyway, Phil Rowe, you've got the footwork to get there, though. Phil Rowe is decent, and there is potential for Phil Rowe to knock Hyun Ko out. It's just, I don't know, man. I feel like Seok Hyun Ko is going to be a little bit more accurate. We'll say accurate. Where Phil Rowe is just going to kind of be a bit more, maybe more output than Phil Rowe, to be fair. Try and smother with output. I just think when it comes down to it, I think the accuracy of Seok Hyun Ko probably gets him the TKO win. That's not to say Phil Rowe can't achieve it. In fact, with the way the cards have been going recently, it seems like the underdogs have been doing pretty well. So there's probably potential for Phil Rowe to get the TKO there. I'm going with Seok Hyun Ko by TKO. Fairly confidently, to be honest with you, But I always do this. I always go with, I said in the last prediction, I can't be going with these Korean guys every single time, but it just seems to be that way. So I'm going with my gut, man. I'm going with my gut. Next up, we've got a terrible fight. Montserrat Conejo Ruiz versus Alice Ardelin. Man, yeah, both terrible. So Ruiz is on a 3-fight skid. Hasn't won in her last 3 fights. Alice Ardelin won her last fight, but before that she'd lost the previous 2. I know one of them was to Shauna Bannon off the top of my head, which isn't terrible matchmaking, but so. Yeah, we're going to go with Alice Ardelin. At least she can put together a win, whereas Ruiz is kind of just tanking right now, not doing very well at all. Kind of just someone you keep around to keep your other fighters busy, we need to slap a fight together on this card. Just throw Ruiz on it. She'll lose. She'll lose for 20k, something like that. Next up, Alice Ardelin by decision. Next up, we've got Caitlin Vieira versus Norma Dumont. It's going to go to a decision. I think Norma Dumont's got it, to be honest with you. Doing pretty well as of recent. I think she's likely going to win this one by a decision again. I feel like it's intentional that they've kind of stacked the card this way. If this is the actual order of the order. If this is the actual order, then I could see why this is stacked very lightly here. If this is going to go to a decision, this is likely going to be quick and a KO either way. Then it's going to be another decision or another decision. So you could probably, skip. You could probably skip this, to be honest with you, and just watch the knockout. Sorted, and then you get like a good little bit of time to you can put your dinner on. I don't know what you do, but yeah. On to the next one, Dante Johnson versus Cedric Dumas. A lot of hype around Johnson right now. Sick little knockout on Contender Series. Cedric Dumas, more UFC cage time, more experience in the UFC cage, and I kind of favour him because of that. But I am going to go against my better judgment, and I am going to pick Dante Johnson. I just Cedric Dumas isn't like he isn't trash. He's not like a world beater, but he's not terrible. And it's a lot for someone to be coming into the UFC proper against Cedric Dumas, a guy who can stall out a fight. He can go toe to toe with you. He can make it ugly. He can try and keep it pretty, and he can, he's well rounded. Maybe not a world beater, but he's well rounded enough to give somebody fresh to the UFC a bit of a challenge. So yeah, I am going to go with Johnson by TKO. But I might even have money on Cedric Dumas on like a safety, a Cedric Dumas decision safety. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, on to the next one. I'm going with Dante Johnson by TKO. On to the next one. Timmy Chiwumba versus Kang Ho Lee. I'm going with Kang Ho Lee. I think they're going to go out there and they're going to try and trade. And I think Kang Ho Lee is going to get the better of Timmy Chiwumba. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I could say about that, to be honest with you. Kang Ho Lee's doing really well. From Road to UFC, I think he's come from. And he's been doing pretty good. So I see no reason to not go with Kang Ho Lee again. Timmy Chiwumba, if you watch the channel, if you've seen any predictions before, I know that's not many of you, if any. If you've seen it before, I don't rate Timmy Chiwumba too highly. Again, I think that's just the guy you keep around so you can slap fights together really quickly on short notice. We need to fill an Apex Fight Night card. We need 14 fights. I don't know. We've got Kang Ho Lee, so I don't know. Give him Timmy Chiwumba. That'll be all right. Make him 12-1. Anyway, next up we've got. Oh yeah, we're going with Kang Ho Lee, likely by a TKO. I keep forgetting to do the pick. Kevin Christensen versus Billy. Next up, we've got Kevin Christensen versus Billy Alicana. Kevin Christensen versus Kevin Christensen in the mirror match. We're gonna go with Bill. We're gonna go with Bill. Look, I don't think Christensen's gonna get much done. 9-2 outside of the UFC. I think again coming off a submission victory on Contender Series. I don't think I've seen the fight. I should probably go back and watch it, but this card's trash. Oh yeah, bear in mind I haven't done much research for this card, if any at all. It's a pretty trash card. I have no time for it. But yes, I'm making a video because consistency is important on YouTube. Next up, we've got Alan Nascimento versus Cody Durden. Cody Durden, not that good. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, not amazing. Not like he's just not good. He's just not good. I was going to try and justify it and give you a whole, he went to a decision with Joshua Van, and what, it doesn't matter. Cody Durden, not that good. Alan Nascimento, marginally better, enough to win a decision in my opinion. So we're going to go with Alan Nascimento by decision. On to the next one. Charles Radke versus Daniel Frunze. I'm liking Radke, to be honest. I'm liking Radke by a knockout. I feel like these two guys are going to go out and trade, and again, when we have one of those scenarios, there's potential for either to be knocked out. This is probably one of the better fights on the card. In fact, it's probably the best fight on the card. If we just quickly, yeah, it really is. This is probably the best fight on the card right here. Is Charles Radke versus Frunze. We're gonna go with Radke. Yeah, we're gonna go with Radke. I'm liking Radke by finish. I think it'll be a decent fight. It'll be entertaining. I think these two will go to war. Really looking forward to it. Actually, it's probably the best fight on the card. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good little redemption moment for the card, and then we'll go right back to being like, oh yeah. But let's take a deeper look. Let's give the fight its due, even though my mind's already kind of made up. Let me see. Ooh, the loss. It's a Reese McKee. Yeah, that's not good. Choking against Reese McKee. Getting into the UFC isn't good. Mike Malott, he's okay. He's pretty good. Beat Semmelsberger. That's an okay win. Lost to Carlos Pratis. That's a tough guy, to get finished by. That's all right, you know. Yeah. And then we've got this guy outside the UFC. We don't rate that kind of experience super highly, to be honest with you. LFA experience isn't like amazing in my opinion. We're gonna go with Radke. I said it anyway. We're gonna go with Radke. I'm liking the TKO, to be honest with you. I think it'll be a decent fight. I think it's gonna be pretty entertaining. I'm gonna go back and forth to start with, and then Radke takes over and gets the finish. So yeah, we're gonna go with Charles Radke by TKO. On to the next one. Isaac Dulgarian versus Yadir Del Valle. Hope that's how you pronounce it. Let's just jump straight into the deep dive. Look, Valle, pretty good. Coming from Fury. Decent on the Contender Series. Pretty good submission his previous time out. Isaac Dulgarian, a little bit of a hiccup against Christian Rodriguez. But, you know, we picked C-Rod in that fight because we know C-Rod kind of chews up these new guys, you know. Chews them up, spits them out. And we kind of predicted that. And I think that's good experience for Dulgarian in that respect. Is that, like, now, you know, he knows that let's not blow my load so early. Let's not go to town beating this guy up and kind of bare my arms out and have nothing to test them with, you know. But yeah, decent submission comeback a year ago, a year out though, you know, a year out compared to 5 months, you know, that's active. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Yadir. I'm gonna go with Yadir. That's how you pronounce it, Yadir. Who knows? Yeah, we're going to go with Yadir. Potential for a TKO. I think it's going to be a... no. Maybe a TKO. Yeah, come on. We'll go with a TKO. We'll take the chance. We'll go with a TKO. Maybe late round 2. Early round 3. TKO for Yadir. On to the next one. We've got Jeremiah Wells versus Damba Garimbo. We'll go with Damba Garimbo. This is an alright fight as well. Maybe second on the ranking of best fights on the card. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Damba Garimbo. They're fairly evenly matched, to be honest with you, the two guys. I think it's a tough one. Who's blacker? That's the again. These guys pretty evenly matched in my opinion. Can we get a quick slight favorite? Yeah, I was thinking Damba Garimbo. It is a close fight, guys. These guys are evenly matched. Yeah, I'm gonna go Damba Garimbo. I think it's probably gonna be a decision, to be honest with you. I think they're gonna get pretty tired. But yeah, I'm gonna go Damba Garimbo. Likely by a decision. There's potential for a knockout, but I think they're gonna get tired before someone gets knocked out, and it's gonna go to a decision. So yeah, Damba Garimbo by decision. Next up, we've got Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Ante Delija. Fucking hell. Delija. I'm going to go with Waldo Cortes-Acosta. These guys, both kind of blobs, both kind of heavyweight blobs. I like that we've got all these small guys, and I suppose we've got welterweights on the card, and they're larger, I suppose. But we've got such light guys and smaller guys. There's a middleweight there. There's middleweight fights as well. Maybe I'm just chatting shit. I don't know. It feels like the card's kind of mostly the lighter divisions, and then we just threw in a heavyweight fight with Waldo Cortes-Acosta and Ante Delija. I don't know, man. I'm kind of liking Waldo Cortes-Acosta, to be honest with you. Slight favorite again. Yeah, I could see it. But I'm thinking a decision, to be honest with you. I mean, let's take the deep dive. What a trash card this is. I'm liking a decision. I'm not gonna lie. I'm liking a decision. Yeah, that's pretty good though. To pass the Thai border test is a good sign for any fighter, to be honest with you. It's a tough one. It's a tough one for me to call. I'm gonna go with Salsa Boy. I'm gonna no. Do I? Right. What's the? We get the odds. Where's the odds? The Tapology odds haven't been the favourite. You know what? I'm a gambling man. We're going to go Waldo Cortes-Acosta by decision. On to the next one, and the final one, so we can finally put this, well, we can't put the card to bed because it hasn't happened yet, but we can finally put this prediction video behind us. Thanks for sticking around if you made it until the end. I don't know, subscribe for more. If you subscribe, the green screen gets better, I promise. Eventually, I'll get round to it. Final fight on the card, Steve Garcia versus David Onama. I lean towards David Onama, to be honest with you. Let's see. Yeah, decision win over Calvin Kattar. TKO win over Kyle Nelson's okay. Choi, getting a TKO on Choi is pretty good too. I do lean towards David Onama though. I do lean towards David Onama. It's a tough one, to be honest. It's a tough one. I don't know. How consistent are we knocking people out? That's fairly consistent. And then a decision win over Calvin Kattar is pretty good as well. Oh, I don't know. Now I'm being convinced. Now I'm being... You know what? We're going to do it. We're going to go with Steve Garcia. Yeah, go on. I'll flip on it. We'll go Steve Garcia by TKO. I've been convinced by Tapology. I've been swayed by Tapology. And I don't really care anyway, because like I said, this is a trash card. So yeah, that's going to conclude this video. It's going to conclude this predictions. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. As always, keep your chin down, keep swinging, peace and love. I'll see you around.